B-I-G-G-I-E, a.k.a. B-I-G, get it? Biggie.
What's going on, guys? It's Nim coming back at you guys again with another video today. And today, I'm going to make it short. I'm going to make it snappy. We're going to get in and we're going to be talking about the next YCS prize card. So with the World Championship coming up, that doesn't really affect the meta in the slightest because it's not really related to it at all. We're going to be actually starting a new YCS season moving forward, and with that we have the announcement of a brand new YCS prize card. Now, notoriously, these YCS prize cards, most of them don't have a huge meta impact, as kind of the barrier to get them is a little bit difficult. We had Minerva actually not long ago, and that was an incredible prize card, but then after that we had like number 88 or something like that, or some weird rank 8 dude didn't do a damn thing. And then before that we had like Utopic Kaiser or something like that. But normally these YCS prize cards really don't hold a lot of competitive viability. They're good cards in general, yes, but you won't normally be seeing them if people have them because they just don't fit most decks. Minerva was just an exception. That card was an incredible card to be printed as a YCS prize card. It was difficult to get to, but it actually made decks possible. It made 60 card decks plausible before, Minerva got released into the general rotation for the public. So with a new prize card on the horizon, it was really up in the air what this card was going to be. People had a lot of really bold predictions that it might be a card like Crystron Needle Fiber, which is a card that the meta will just be completely shifted once that card's released. I don't know why people actually thought that card was going to be a Pro YCS prize card. That would absolutely like ruin the game. That's like Cyberstein level of YCS prize card, or like what is it? What's that really good card? Oh yeah, Crush Card Virus before it's errata. That's like that level of game breaking of a card to release as a prize card. So I'm incredibly not surprised that that wasn't a prize card. There's no reason that should have been. But I actually still think we ended up with a pretty good card. It's a card that's kind of on the level of Minerva, I'd even say, as it can make decks plausible and make decks better if you own it. But then again, it is not a necessity in the format to be able to actually play or contend. Without keeping you guys waiting too much longer, that card is Chaos Emperor, the Dragon of the Armageddon, and it's a Pendulum monster, scale 1, level 8, with 3000 attack, 2500 defense. Let's go through those effects. Its Pendulum effect is you can pay 1000 life points and then target one of your banished dragon monsters, destroy this card, and if you do, add that monster to your hand. You can only use this effect of Chaos Emperor Dragon of the Armageddon once per turn. Its monster effect is it cannot be normal summoned or set, and it must be special summoned from your hand or extra deck by banishing one light and one dark monster from your graveyard. You can only special summon Chaos Emperor, the Dragon of Armageddon, once per turn this way. Once per turn, you can pay half of your life points, send as many cards you control as possible to the graveyard, except from the extra monster zone, and if you do, send cards your opponent controls to the graveyard up to the number of your cards sent to the graveyard, then inflict 300 damage to your opponent for each of those cards sent by its effect. If his face-up special summon card leaves the field, return it to the bottom of the deck. We may not be able to have the errated form of Chaos Emperor Dragon in its purest form back to us, but I guess this is the next best thing. This card's actually extremely powerful, and there's a lot to go over. It's got a really beefy effect, so let's kind of break it down one by one. For its Pendulum effect, being able to pay 1000 to pop itself and add any dragon that's banished back to your hand, really incredible effect. I think the main charm with its Pendulum effect is the fact that the card goes back to the extra deck when you pop itself with its effect, and that's one of the ways you can summon it, from your hand or your face-up extra deck. So having that ability to be able to bring that back, get an additional plus while you do it, is really good. But what exactly banished monsters can you add to your hand? Well, you could play any, of course, like the Chaos Dragons and stuff if you want to splash this in here. It's not a bad choice anyways. This is pretty much in itself actually not really a Pendulum monster, for the fact that it doesn't really revolve even around the Pendulum mechanic, because you actually can't Pendulum summon this card. Its special summoning itself from the extra deck is actually just a really unique way to take advantage of the Pendulum mechanic. So having this card being able to kind of circumvent that and just be able to use it in itself as its own engine and not having to tie itself to a Pendulum archetype is actually great. Of course, if you do manage to take the route of playing it in a Pendulum archetype, you can actually dump this card off of Electromite to immediately summon it if you have a light and dark in your graveyard, and then being able to pop everything on the field. Pretty dope effect. It's also very important to note that if you summon this guy from the extra deck, you can summon him to the extra deck monster zone, and when you use its effect to wipe, you actually don't wipe himself from it, which is pretty neat if you just want to wipe all your other cards and keep a 3000 beater on the body that's also threatening the same kind of wipe next turn. Of course, if you're able to rebuild advantage of your own to clear your opponent's stuff. But that being said, being able to non-target removal your opponent's entire board and deal damage to them, incredible. Also, the damage. I think this is like a super underrated part of the effect. Being able to inflict 300 damage to your opponent for each of their cards sent is actually pretty big now for the fact that we have the new time limit rules in place. Dealing any sort of chip damage in or having a card that's generally very good being able to deal damage on its own is actually very valuable in most decks. It's why Trickstars is a deck that is notoriously just able to win games in time by being able to chip damage into your opponent like 200 for the draw phase, if that's it. If the new time limit rules weren't a thing, the 300 damage would be negligible. It wouldn't actually be a lot. It might be able to close down a game every once in a while, just being able to deal, I don't know, maybe upwards of like 1200 to 1500 life points, but in most cases it wouldn't really make or break the card being good. It's just a handy thing to point out though, because now it's relevant and the fact that any damage is important damage. I understand half of your life points is a lot, but again, if this guy sticks on the field because you stuck him in the extra deck monster zone, you might be able to deal the additional 3,000 damage you need to close out the game, or at least close the gap between you and your opponent to steal that game in time, or just win the game in general. Out of all the other dragon retrains we had in the OCG, we had like a Trishula retrain, we had like a Judgment Dragon retrain. They were all garbage compared to this one. This one just literally broke barriers. It was by far, without question, the best retrain out of the like 4 of them we had. Not to mention, this card only becomes way cooler when we get a card released to us here in the TCG, which is Odd Eyes Revolution Dragon. You might not actually have heard anything from Odd Eyes Revolution Dragon, this big level 12 scale 12 dude, because I don't even think his effects are that relevant, or the fact that, what does he even do? Yeah, reading him back, he's not that special of a boy, because you gotta tribute a Fusion, Synchro, and XYZ Dragon type monster to special summon him from your hand, and then from there you actually can pay half and then shuffle all other cards from the field in the graveyard into the deck, which is dope, but good luck summoning him in the first place. But the relevant part of this card is not in its effect on its own, but it's the fact that you can discard him to add one level 8 or lower Dragon Pendulum monster from your deck to your hand after paying 500 life points. And who fits that bill? Well, it's that boy, Chaos Emperor Dragon. That interaction alone makes this card, Chaos Emperor Dragon, so much better when we get it upon release. That actually just might make it a really good meta contended card. I'm very excited for this card. I think it really fit the criteria of what makes a good YCS prize card. It's a card that people really want to get. It inspires, it encourages players to want to actually play at a tournament level to be able to earn this card, because of the fact that it opens up possibilities with different meta decks that you can play. And also, some of them might actually be, I don't want to use the word broken like super literally, but they're extremely viable. It's exactly what a prize card should do. You earned the prize card, so you should be able to yam some hams with it, and that's exactly what you can do with this boy. I don't know, I think this card inspires a lot of decks to be actually plausible. I'm extremely excited to see what players tend to play with this thing, as I think it's just too powerful of a card to ignore. It's like Minerva level, where Minerva made the 60 card engines a lot more viable before it was actually released to the public in Battle of Legends Light Revenge. I feel like Chaos Emperor Dragon might have that kind of impact as well, where it might make a new Pendulum archetype pop up that would play the Odd Eyes cards but just play Chaos Emperor as well. I think this card's very well rounded. I'm really excited to see it. Now if we could just get the boy himself, the original Chaos Emperor Dragon, back at 1, that'd be fine and dandy too. But I'm not sure what we're looking at from here after this card comes out. Let me know what you guys think of the new YCS prize card. Do you think it was a fantastic choice, or do you think there's a more obvious choice that Konami just fucked up and didn't pick? Love to hear what you guys think. That being said, actually, you know, let me bring it in here for you guys. That being said, thank you guys so much for watching the video today. And if you really enjoyed it, be sure to give it a big thumbs up, as it makes me really happy. But also, that being said, I'd really appreciate it if you guys hit that subscribe button. That little red subscribe button that maybe you haven't hit yet. If you hit it yet, I love you. Thank you for that. But if you haven't hit it yet, be sure to hit that subscribe button to stay up to date when I upload some subpar Yu-Gi-Oh content. But that being said, thank you guys so much for watching the video today. Be sure to like, comment, definitely subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching, guys. Nim Nim signing out.